On today's Primetime local news, the city is looking to hire a construction manager as the design work continues on Lloydminster Place.
We've used construction management in the past. We feel that it's been fairly successful, as successful as any other model.
And the story of how a local man started creating his own guitars. Plus, Holy Rosary High School hosted the Zone Championships for badminton.
Prime Time local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
There's more news today surrounding the city's new arena project. City Council has selected the project delivery method, opting to hire a construction manager during the design phase. Jace Mackey has more on why the city felt this method was the way to go.
When it comes to construction projects, there are a few delivery methods you can choose from. The most common is known as design, bid, build. It's pretty self-explanatory. In this method, the city would hire a designer who'd prepare drawings, and once design work is done, bidding opens, allowing contractors to submit bids. After a winning bid is selected, construction would then begin.
In a perfect world, it's a great system. In the case that we're still designing an arena, it wouldn't work so well because a contractor would be concerned about potential costs as the architect continues to deliver things forward and the engineer. Then what do I bid on, because I'm not going to be caught flat-footed.
Because the city is still in the design phase but intends to have shovels in the ground next year, council opted to go with a construction manager delivery method. In this method, a construction manager is hired by the city and oversees the project from design through to post-construction.
We've used construction management in the past. We feel that it's been fairly successful, as successful as any other model. And in this case, due to the fluid of the market, the market is very fluid on construction materials, costs, factors, supply chain issues.
The city says the construction manager method would improve the feasibility, cost certainty, and collaboration as the design process continues. The city will now post a tender looking for a construction manager. The mayor, meanwhile, met with a trio of Alberta cabinet ministers to discuss the new arena.
Certainly they're waiting to see what comes out of Saskatchewan, Canada. Can't blame them, but I also believe they understand there's a need here, and those conversations will continue throughout the summer with the government of Alberta, the Premier, and various ministers as we move forward to try and secure grant funding from all sources.
Mayor Albert stressed that Lloydminster Place is a need-to-have project as the Civic Centre is rapidly approaching the end of its usable life.
I've heard it and from people, why didn't you just fix the Civic Centre? Is a fine building. It is a fine building, but when an engineer tells you that it's going to reach a point that they will not support it being used for public use, the building is useless because it is a public building. It involves the public being there.
For Primetime Local News, I'm Jace Mackey.
A local man is putting his tools to the test through his discovery of a new hobby. As our Tate Lakecraft reports, he's taking it one strum at a time.
Randy Glynn is a facilities manager with Synergy Credit Union, but prior to his cushy desk job, he spent a period of 20-plus years working in construction and carpentry. Now, at the ripened age of 50, he stumbled onto a new passion.
When I started building acoustic instruments, it was like a spark went off. I have quite the love of music and quite a love of woodworking. And so for me, acoustic music or acoustic instruments just brought it all together.
Over the course of the last half-decade, Randy has handcrafted some 30 instruments. Though it started as a peculiar pastime, it's since evolved into something different.
I originally started putting it up on just my own Facebook page and sharing it with my friends and stuff. And then I kind of got bugged by some family members about, man, you need to make your own fireside page. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, yeah. So anyway, I decided I'd do that.
Fireside Instruments recently surpassed 1,000 followers on Facebook. Glynn says that in a small way, the support has changed his life.
I've literally been shopping for groceries and had people walk up to me and go, hey, Randy, how you doing? I've been following your stuff. And, it's some of these people are not even the slightest bit interested in music, right? They just find the process of what I show to be fascinating.
For the time being, Randy reverberates that he's happy with his life. Down the road, he sees his craft becoming a more intensive post-retirement project, but he did add that it will never come at a cost.
I don't ever plan on being what we'll call a mini factory. You know, to me, each one of these instruments is its own little beast, right? Like it's its own entity.
For Primetime Local News, I'm Tate Laycraft.
In this week's Beyond the Classroom, we take a look at Bar Colony's Junior K program and how it shapes students ahead of kindergarten.
The junior kindergarten program welcomes in kids who are 4 turning 5 years old ahead of kindergarten. The classes have 20 kids each, and there's 4 different classes throughout the week. During the time the kids are at the school, they are learning a variety of beginner skills.
It's such an opportunity for kids to gain some independence. We work on the littlest things from the moment they walk in the door. We're working on boots, shoes, zippers, all those kind of things to give them a little bit more independence. Everything that they're going to need to be able to do when they start into kindergarten in the fall.
Since the program is based out of Bar Colony, they get to use the resources at the school, such as the library, gym, and playground. Tyndall says the program allows the kids to improve their fine motor skills.
We start out with some table activities, which are just hands-on things. Maybe working on those fine motor skills with those little hands. Might be cutting, might be letter recognition, might be numbers, but they're just invitations for them to learn.
For parents who are looking at putting their kid in the program, registration is currently open for the next school year.
They can register anytime. Mrs. Yonke at the office is more than willing to take any questions or answer any phone calls about the program. You can register online, so parents can just log on to the Bar Colony website and look it up from there.
And that's it for this week's Beyond the Classroom.
At Lakeland College, our students are challenged to go beyond the classroom, so when industry knocks, they're ready to thrive. Learn more at lakelandcollege.ca.
And now, before we head to break, our Shelby Clark will take a look at your weather forecast.
Thanks so much, Ms. Jasmine King. Now taking a first look at your weather forecast. We did see a much cooler day today. We are just sitting at that 3 mark, so we aren't seeing those double digits right now at the moment here in the border city. We are seeing some strong winds right now, so it is quite windy out there. If you went out there at all, we weren't seeing too much sunshine at all throughout the day, but we will be warming up through the rest of the week and on the weekend, which will help save it. Don't worry, spring is slowly moving in here in the border city. Now switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, only down in Provost, they are seeing that double digit at 10 degrees. The rest are slightly cooler for sure. Over in Edmonton, they are just hitting that 6 mark. It is 4 degrees in Vermilion, Marwayne, and St. Paul. 5 degrees down in Wainwright and up in Bonnyville, while it is 3 and 2 in Cold Lake, and over in Vegreville and Lac La Biche is just hitting 7. Now switching over to our Saskatchewan side, they are seeing kind of the same temperatures as the Alberta side. They are even slightly warmer. 4 degrees in Meadow Lake, while it is 5 and 6 in most spots on the map on this side. And down in Macklin and North Battleford, they are seeing double-digit temperatures, so they are seeing a lot warmer at 12 and 14 degrees. And for North Battleford, they will be cooling down to that 0 mark for their evening low. They will be seeing another high chance of some showers that will start off in their evening. And then tomorrow, they will be warming back up there to 15 degrees throughout the day, and they will be seeing a mix of some sun and cloud. Switching out to Cold Lake, they'll be cooling down to that 1 mark, so they won't be cooling down too drastically from what they are sitting at 3. Then tomorrow, they will be seeing a much warmer day at 13 degrees, and they will be seeing a lot more sun peeking behind those clouds than what they saw today. And for us in the border city, we'll be going down to 2, so we won't be changing too much temperature-wise for our evening, but we will be seeing still a nicer evening without having that high chance of some showers. Then tomorrow we will be seeing a warmer day at 14 degrees. We will be seeing a high chance of some showers that will start off in the morning, but we will be seeing a little bit more sun. Now, I just want to add in again, we do still have our Mother's Day contest started up here for Primetime Local News, so make sure to go to our Facebook page and check it out. You can comment a beautiful photo of your mama. Make sure to mention her name in 10 words or less and describe why you deserve this gift card, but you can win $500 to Sleep Country. That's all I got for now. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
After qualifying at the district playoff in Vermilion back on April 13th, Holy Rosary hosted the Northeast Alberta Badminton Zone Championships. Evan Kenny has more on the tournament.
If you were wondering about all the racket at the Service Sports Centre on Wednesday, schools from all over Northeast Alberta gathered for the Badminton Zone Championships.
3 divisions, junior, intermediate, and senior, 26 schools, and nearly 240 players were looking to cash their ticket to the provincial finals May 6th in Medicine Hat. Among them, 10 Holy Rosary teams and 14 players.
We've had in previous years a couple of higher numbers, but not much higher than this year. So coming out of 2 years of not being able to play because of COVID, having 14 athletes move on is pretty amazing.
This is the first season of badminton since 2019. For players like Andrew and David Brown, it's a pleasure to be back on the court.
We were able to play a bit in the off-season during those years, but it's nice to be back.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to be here, and hopefully I can make it to provincials.
It's really nice to see them come out when it's badminton season and put in the extra work. It just shows their dedication.
Winners of gold and silver medals will advance to provincials. While teams are searching for the title, they're still keeping the most important aspect of sport in mind.
We're getting smoked. We're having fun though. Yeah.
Evan Kenny, Primetime Local Sports.
Now for a look at our rainy day forecast, we go to the lovely Shelby Clark again.
Thank you so much, Miss Beautiful Jasmine King. Now taking a look at your weather forecast, yes, we still are seeing a very gloomy day today, but we will be warming up later on, as I will show in my forecast. But starting off, let's look at the central zone of our provinces. And on the Alberta side, we are seeing some double-digit marks on the map, with Red Deer at 12 degrees, Rocky Mountain House and Edson sitting at that 10 mark, but the rest are slightly cooled down. Jasper is at 8, while it is 5 and 6 in Edmonton and Whitecourt, and Athabasca and Cold Lake are twinning at 3 degrees. Now switching over to our Saskatchewan side, they are seeing around the same temperatures as we are seeing on the Alberta side. Prince Albert's at 6 and Melfort and Meadow Lake are with us here in the border city at 4 degrees. And North Battleford and Saskatoon are seeing a lot warmer temperatures at 14 degrees. So they are looking a lot warmer in those areas on the map. And now going over to our northern zone, they are looking not too bad temperature-wise, even compared to earlier on in this week. They were kind of seeing the same temps as they are seeing today. 10 degrees at South End, while most spots are sitting at that 8 mark. Up in Uranium City, they are sitting at 9, while down in La Ronge and Flin Flon, they are at 6 and 7 degrees. Now switching over to this end here now, they are looking a lot cooler than what they have been seeing earlier on in the week, kind of like what we are looking at in the central zone. 4 degrees in Grand Prairie, while it's 2 and 3 in Peace River and Slave Lake. 8 degrees in both High Level and Fort Chupoan, and Fort McMurray is beating out all of us at that double-digit mark at 13 degrees. Now going over to our southern zone, they aren't looking too shabby whatsoever. They are seeing some double digits. They are looking a lot warmer than what we are sitting at. 11 degrees in both Calgary and Coronation, while Lethbridge is just at 13, Medicine Hat is at 15 degrees, and Banff is looking the coolest at that 7 mark. And going over to this end here now, they aren't looking so bad whatsoever either. They are seeing some warmer temperatures. Moose Jaw is at 16 degrees, while it is 14 in Swift Current, 12 up in Kindersley. Regina is just hitting that 10 mark, and the rest are at that single-digit point, a lot cooler at 3. And now going back across the region to seeing what we will expect throughout our evening. I think we're pretty happy with temperature-wise, but unfortunately some spots will be seeing a high chance of some showers that will start off in the evening. Miriam and Meadow Lake will be seeing a low of -1, while the rest will be a little bit warmer in the plus degree range. Bonnyville and Paradise Hill will be hitting that 0 mark for their evening low. Isla Cross, Pearson, Unity will be seeing that 1 mark, while Provost and Wainwright will be seeing the warmest with a low of 2 and 3 degrees. So we won't be too bad for our evening low temperature-wise, but we will be seeing these cloudy conditions continue on, unfortunately. But we will be warming up throughout the rest of the week. Now looking at our 3-day forecast for here in the border city, we will be seeing 14 throughout the day tomorrow, but seeing close to a 50% chance of some showers that will come back. We will be seeing a little bit more sun though, and then Friday and Saturday we'll be seeing a warmer weekend. At Friday seeing 15 to start it off, and then 17 on Saturday. So seeing a much warmer weekend, so get ready, it's going to be beautiful. And just to say again, make sure you go to our Facebook page and check out our Mother's Day contest. You can win a $500 gift card to Sleep Country. That's all we got for now. We'll have more news coming up after the break.
Today we have Dr. Alice Wainwright Stewart, the president and CEO of Lakeland College, here today to talk to us about the Feast on the Farm event that will be taking place this summer. And so thank you so much for being with us today, Alice.
My pleasure, Thomas.
And so Alice, could you give us an overview of what the Feast on the Farm event is going to have this year for 2020, and also what the money that is raised through this event goes towards for Lakeland College?
Okay, so the Feast on the Farm is the fifth one that we've had here at Lakeland College, and it's really what we call a grassroots dining experience. And we're going to have the energetic performance of our award-winning Alberta country music artist, Drew Gregory. It'll also be hosted by Greg Shannon, which is CFCW's radio host, and he'll be emceeing it. And he's a Lakeland graduate in our agricultural program years ago. And it's an opportunity for really industry leaders and alumni and friends of the college to connect. And it's a sponsored event for several of our student-led projects. And our student-led projects are a distinct learning model that we have here at Lakeland College that helps the students really with their educational experiences go beyond the classroom and take pride in offering work-integrated experience that help them learn and lead and collaborate with others. So give you a little example of some of those, some of the past sponsored experiences. So our Human Services Club has a natural play space, and that the funds from the Feast on the Farm helped construct this play space that really is looking at helping children with sensory aspects of development while playing in nature. And it's an opportunity not only for our childcare that's on campus, but it's an opportunity for our community to come in and have the children experience this play space. Another one that's recent and that our students actually spoke to our board, did a presentation for them, is they needed a new grain shack. And this is on our student managed farm powered by New Holland. And the grain shack is really used to understand the grain moisture for testing, for storing, and helping them track grain capacity in our bins. And the goal of this is really to create more efficiency and accuracy for our student managed farm crops.
And so tell us more about that grassroots meal that you mentioned that will be happening at the feast.
So it's usually information, or it's usually local produced food, and it's really kind of set up. It's in the idea of making sure that our guests experience some of the local food that's prepared. It's usually the homemade desserts that are prepared locally, as well as the food that's not only grown locally, but produced locally as well.
And then finally, when can we buy tickets to this event, and kind of when is the deadline in order to purchase some of the tickets?
Okay, well, tickets went on sale on April 20th, and they're going fast. We've got 50% sold already, and you can purchase them on our lakelandcollege.ca/feast. So that's the website. So lakelandcollege.ca/feast is where you can purchase the tickets. And we are going to, right now, it's open. So when they're sold out, that's sold out. But we're also, looking at it and seeing where we are. We're a little ahead of schedule right now, so we'll see how that goes.
Thank you so much for this interview, and have yourself a great rest of the year, and we hope for the best for the feast.
Thank you so much, Thomas. Take care.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Joining us today for Primetime Local News is Rick Block with Canadian Food Grain Bank. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. And we're speaking on Grow Hope Saskatchewan, providing emergency food assistance around the world. What exactly is this initiative?
Yeah, thanks, Shelby, for the opportunity to share a little bit more about Grow Hope. Grow Hope Saskatchewan is a really exciting initiative whereby you have various farm families around the province that are all contributing acres, collaborating with a number of the relief and development agencies that are part of the Canadian Food Grains Bank, and then the invitation for individuals and businesses, people that are part of, schools or church groups, to join in on essentially raising dollars for the work of the Canadian Food Grains Bank, which is to help alleviate hunger internationally. And that is a growing and concerning situation. And maybe we'll speak more about it in just a bit.
Now, how long has Grow Hope Saskatchewan been doing this for?
Its first year was launched in 2018. At that time, we had 160 acres that were offered by two farmers, kind of both in the Rostron area. And since then, it has continued to grow each and every year. So this year in 2022, we have 300 acres available, and that's amongst 5 farm families. So it's up at Good Soil, down at Main Center, just north of Saskatoon at Laird, at Bruno, east of Saskatoon, and then also in Yorkton.
I know you brought it up a little bit already earlier on, but yes, let's expand on this. In what ways does this initiative help farmers and the ag industry?
Yeah, well, this is a project that really, I guess, connects kind of with in some ways, I'd say the culture of agriculture, in the spirit of saying, hey, let's work together to really help others that are in a much less fortunate situation than we find ourselves. And that's not to discount, there's lots of challenges that are going on here. But, and many farmers really identify too this sense of responsibility. They are growing food, they are operating a business, they are growing food for many people around the world. Obviously, they need to kind of care for their own, livelihood and families, but this is a project that's really led by the generosity of farmers who wish to contribute a certain number of acres of production. And then there's numerous businesses, individuals. Essentially, the invitation is that businesses, individuals could essentially sponsor acres, which is really providing the dollars to help offset the input costs for the production of those acres. So that's at $350 this year. And then this all comes together. Obviously, all of the proceeds that come off of those 300 acres will be going into this project, which funnels its funds into the Canadian Food Grains Bank for its international work.
And with how long this has been going on for, like you were saying, in 2018 it first started, for people wanting to help support this, how can they sponsor it and find more information about this?
Yeah, probably the best portal is, so Grow Hope Saskatchewan has its own website, and that is just found at www.growhopesk.ca. And there you'll find profiles of the farmers that are involved, lots of resources connecting to really the international situation. Why would we feel a rationale or a burden to help look after others that are in other parts of the world suffering from displacement and hunger. And then also you'll find exactly the portals in terms of donating, and a person can donate. I mean, we regard the level of donation is essentially at we like to kind of package it in an acre perspective just because it's a farming project, but people can really donate at whatever level they want. So you could choose to donate equivalent of half an acre or 1 acre or many acres for that matter too.
And lastly, I just want to ask, personally to you, why do you find that it's so important to have this project in the ag industry and for farmers out there in the communities?
I like to use the idea of it being a story, and the main plot is helping to alleviate hunger internationally. But the subplot is actually very important here too, and it is about intentionally finding ways to connect urban and rural folks here in Saskatchewan, and those are two demographics that I think we probably all identify can benefit from, rubbing shoulders in friendly ways, frankly. And one of the key features that we have with Grow Hope is a kind of a signature field day. And in 2018 and 19, we had really great field days. Obviously, the last 2 years, they were more informal, smaller gatherings in the field just in relation to COVID. But we're really looking forward to having a great field day this year in early August, most likely in the Bruno area. And again, that is a really important time of connecting sponsors and the general public, and lots of folks from urban environment to farmers, and to learn more about farming in very friendly and non-confrontational ways. And people have always given really good feedback about those field days.
Perfect, Rick. Well, I'm glad we were able to speak on this, and knowing that there is this project out there for people in the communities that need it. So once again, thank you so much for joining us today.
Great. Thanks so much, Shelby.
Just want to end off with saying again, go check out our Mother's Day contest on our Facebook page. You can comment a beautiful photo of your mama and mention in 10 words or less why you deserve to win this gift card, and you can win $500 to Sleep Country.
Thank you, Shelby, and thank you for joining us on this hour of news. You can catch even more news in the second hour.